Let's talk about CNN, my friends. We have this story from Axios. CNN Plus looks doomed. Where should we get the cake from?
Yeah,
and when's the party? Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. No, for real.
Maybe we can get Chris Wallace to bake it for us.
All right, here's the story, my friends. From Axios, they say Warner Brothers Discovery has suspended all external marketing spend for CNN Plus and has laid off CNN's longtime chief financial officer as it weighs what to do with the subscription streaming service moving forward. Now hold on. Wow. Everybody was saying they had 10,000 subscribers. No, they had 10,000 daily active users. Axios says they have 150,000 subscribers so far. Let me just put that in some numbers for you. If they're getting between $3 and $6, we're looking at between around 8 million maybe they're making per month. Now they spent I think 250 million to set it up. So they're deep in the hole and not going to recover that anytime soon. Certainly not as much as they thought it would be, but still a lot of money. That being said, my friends, if you think we're better than them, please go to timcast.com and become members because we should have more than that. We don't.
Yes.
But we should. But it's all it's growth. The more members we get, the more people we hire, the bigger we get. CNN Plus should not be doing as well as they're doing. They are, of course. They're still doing so abysmally bad. They're probably going to get nuked.
Do you see the bottom line of that right there? Sources say a plan is being considered to replace Chris Cuomo's 9 p.m. Eastern primetime slot with a live newscast. And I love how they describe this. Newscast. Instead of a personality-driven perspective programming.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Perspective programming. Is that what this is?
We thought about that too here at Timcast. We were like, why have this Tim Pool guy host a show with conversation? Let's just hire Chris Cuomo and have him, talk to people. That would make way more sense.
I would love to have Chris Cuomo on if he was like actually talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Warner Brothers owns CNN. They're just basically pumping massive amounts of marketing into it to get 100,000 people to subscribe to their thing. But I mean, that indicates nothing to whether or not it's good or valuable.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm going to sound...
Sorry, the issue isn't the 150,000 subs. It's that only 10,000 people on average use it per day, which is like per day. That's 24 hours. So think about that. In 24 hours, about 400 every hour, about 400 people or so. Is that right?
That's like an average Telegram chat room, kind of thing. I mean, I actually do think I have more people in my Telegram chat actively on a regular basis than that, and I know I do not market or pay for anything like that.
I would like to see the ratio of other companies that have subscription models, like how many subscribers Timcast has versus how many people land on it every day. Same with Netflix.
But that's apples to oranges.
Well, you get an idea of the ratio of how many people actually pay for it and how many people actually watch it, and that number is pretty important.
Yeah, I was going to mention this earlier. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but I still don't understand how CNN saw that they were doing abysmally in the ratings and thought, you know what? We're going to get people to pay for this.
Yeah.
Why would anyone be willing to
for stuff
subscribe?
that you don't
I mean,
wanna watch.
it's like it's free at the airport. That's why people watch it.
Not anymore.
Yeah, they've been at the airports for a while.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
So
they're
that's
gone.
all right. Well, maybe that's why they're doing so poorly.
I'll tell you what happened is they had a meeting, and this is my opinion, and went, hey, why are our ratings so bad among millennials? And some marketing guy was like, because millennials are watching streaming services. And they were like, if we launch a streaming service, we'll get millennials. I'll tell you, I bet the real issue is that of those 150 subscribers, it's like 149 people who are 55 or older.
You know what this is like? This is like Quibi. You remember Quibi?
Yeah.
That thing that was around for like 5 minutes.
Microsoft.
But somehow got the Reno
No, I don't
911.
remember.
It's like a Microsoft streaming service.
The idea was that it was micro streaming. So they're like, hey, what if, and they had like these short Reno 911 episodes, which were actually pretty good, but they would only give you a little bit of it. So it was like, what do people love? Well, they love being on their phones. And what else did they love? They love short videos. So let's make a company that's all about programmed, scripted short videos and deliver it to your phone. It was a complete failure. Nobody liked it because that's not organic social media content, right? People want either like live form stuff like this, not scripted, direct interaction, actual human engagement with, like actual humans. Obviously Ian is, kind of
a robot,
questionable in that sense, but we accept you as you are. And
Thanks, Jack.
And it was just an abysmal failure because again, that was Jeffrey Katzenberg, by the way, was behind that. The former DreamWorks and Disney guy who you could tell had some meeting and say like, what do the kids like today? Oh, stream video. Let's do that. But on the phone, it'll be great.
Yeah, I thought Microsoft
it's a direct
invested in that. I could be wrong about that.
The reality was that nobody liked CNN.
Yes.
That CNN was like, maybe the issue is that we're not in the right place. And now they're probably, I hope they cried. I hope someone at CNN like sat there and was just like, I thought that if we made
They
it out,
cried.
they'd watch. But they really just don't like us.
That's a good point, Jack. The modern media now, the whole like one-way media stream is kind of, that's what's dying off. It's turning into a two-way thing. If you can't talk to your subscribers and vice versa, then it's no one wants.
I actually had a really.
I don't think that it's just that it's one way or two way. I agree that that could have something to do with it, but it's also the fact that they're an unreliable network. They report garbage. They don't have an interesting perspective that anyone wants to hear.
That's a good point, because Netflix is one way for the most part, and they're flying. That's what,
Had an
No,
excellent.
Netflix is not fine. They're just
no flying.
Oh
I
yeah, they
said,
tanked
but-
today.
yeah,
did
they tanked massively.
Did anyone figure out why
They're
that
losing
was?
subscribers.
What's happening?
They're losing.
Well,
subscribers.
they're all going to CNN Plus.
Yeah.
How are we going to
Oh,
compete?
it's taxed because they can't afford taxes, so people are cutting their subscriptions probably.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
no,
They're
no,
probably
no, no.
moving to
We'll get to that in a
Dis-
second, but
But I wanted to throw up a really good text in that kind of actually from a buddy of mine who shall remain nameless right now, but a guy I used to work with in my old job, if that makes any sense. And it said they had to lift the airline mandates because it was becoming too obvious that only LA, New York City, and the capital city still care about COVID. The rest of the country has moved on to gas prices and food shortages, and .gov employees are still worried about the flu. Their distance from their subjects has become so far that to convince them that it is still a democracy, they needed to drop the mandate.
democracy.
For democracy, folks.
Yeah.
For democracy.
But
I
the
think-
weird,
well,
the weird,
I think
the weird
people-
thing is to still see these blue check journalists be like, everyone, we should start suing the airlines.
Right.
I know, for
real.
what? Like,
Because
for
they're
what?
because they're like, you agreed there would be masks when I got on this plane, and now you're taking them off, and it's like, well, that was the government.
Yo, I
Like,
looked
I
up
never heard of this.
Netflix stock. The first story: Netflix loses subscribers. Tanks from CNN. Their new competitor.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Masks?
something
Yeah,
about
what
that.
about-
Well, we were going to talk about why, where we think the subscribers are going from Netflix.
No, we're talking,
and them lifting the
And then I was
mandates.
talking about masks.
Yeah.
yeah, we were talking about masks. And
So the
then we'll
Biden
change
administration,
subject.
by the way, this just broke before the show went live. The Biden administration has announced that right now, in a midterm election year, they are actually going to be fighting to reinstate the mask mandates.
Oh
in
yeah,
court.
I
Brilliant.
know.
That's
in
so
federal
intelligent.
court.
So we have people who are actively calling for. That's what we're talking about, suing airlines because the mask mandates got lifted. This all comes together. You were mentioning being out of touch with their subjects.
Right.
The CNN is in line with this narrative on Twitter, which exists
Yes.
among like 3% of the population. That when the masks come off, everyone's screaming and cheering, but CNN is on the side of like, this is really bad,
Right.
People should be upset by this, and regular people are like, why would I watch your show? That does not relate to me. Who cares?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think people not wearing masks is a threat to our democracy.
How so?
See that? You
I think
see that
CNN
CNN perspective right there.
for
Boom.
democracy, we need an unelected bureaucratic doctor who's never been elected a dog catcher in his life to be making decisions for all 315 million
Thank you.
Americans.
Is that Fauci? Is he still
Someone
around?
who
Yeah, what
a
happened?
bespeckled, elfish, elderly man. That's true democracy.
Is he still around though?
Tim? That's true.
Because
democracy.
Leaving
because
voicemails.
If he has,
Has he left any
Seamus, what's
voicemails
going
recently?
on?
Can we give us an update?
Left some. There's a Freedom Tunes video that reported a bunch of voicemails he left on MSNBC's answering machines.
Yeah, that was good. The idea being that Fauci is just out of the media now for some reason. That's funny.
Wonder if he's
though.
gonna come back.
I'll give the media that much. They recognized Fauci's out and he's not.
He's
relevant
like
anymore.
doing the podcast of the kid who lives next door and stuff instead
Well,
of like regular media.
It's funny because Tim, you sort of mentioned that. Well, actually, no, you mentioned this, that in a midterm election year, they're saying they're going to fight to reinstate the mandates. It is very bizarre because they've known that that's a losing issue for a little while now, and everything's going so poorly. It's almost like they're just flailing around trying to do anything. They're not even thinking strategy. When you're that low in the polls, when you're just sinking, you're drowning, you're flailing your
Look,
limbs
they saw
everywhere.
that
You're not
30
actually making calculated motions.
They're like, we've got 33% left. How do we
We
destroy the
lose 'em.
last?
Speaking of which,
Or
I can't believe I
Bastion.
forgot. I uploaded a cartoon about this today. You guys check it out. It's called The Democrats' Brilliant Midterm Strategy.
or
Freedom
the
Tunes.
lockdowns are coming back. Philadelphia brought the mask mandates back.
Yep.
And we'll see. I said end of last year the lockdowns are going to come back. Luke said that wouldn't happen.
I said they would.
Once it started getting lifted, I was like, I guess Luke was right. I was wrong. But now I'm kind of
Hate
like,
hearing that.
I don't know.
No, I had reported this, and people, got all mad at me because they were discussing this in the White House, returning the masks, or excuse me, returning the lockdowns. That the kind of the impetus for that, and Biden was even going to do a whole speech about it, that basically got flipped into the nationwide vaccine mandate speech. But it was essentially the same type of rhetoric. They just switched it from lockdowns into vaccines. But this whole idea of, we're in this together. They keep talking about it. Ron Klain, the White House the White House chief of staff, keeps referring to this as like his FDR moment. Everything's his FDR moment, right? From this to Ukraine to whatever else. He's the new FDR. He's the new FDR, except he can't get anything passed.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.